Welcome back to Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Snickers.
All right, so the inactives for the early window have just been announced. Adam Schefter, what do we need to know?
Some notable names on the list, Greeny, mostly actives, but some key inactives as well. J.J. McCarthy is going to be the emergency third quarterback today, inactive for the Vikings. Jalen Carter and Landon Dickerson both active for the Eagles. Big additions in the trenches. Stephon Diggs active for the Patriots, along with Harold Landry, another former Titan. DeAndre Swift active as expected. And Jacoby Myers for the Raiders inactive, along with Brock Bowers. Neither one of them playing. The Raiders have a bye next week. Both after the bye could return. As for the Washington Commanders, they are without Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel today. Terry McLaurin still dealing with that quad issue. Deebo Samuel has a heel issue that's been a real struggle for him. It's prevented him from practicing. And so today, the Commanders will have to turn to receivers like Luke McCaffrey and Chris Moore and hope to get production out of their veteran tight end, Zach Ertz, who's listed as questionable, but also is expected to be out there against the Cowboys, Greeny.
All right, Shefty, thank you. Patriots and Titans are another one today in Tennessee. The sensational sophomore Drake Maye, we'll see what he has in store today against the struggling Titans, who made the coaching change during the course of this week. Patriots come to town. Mike Vrabel making his return to the city where he was head coach for 6 years. He has the third most wins in Titans franchise history. That includes playoffs. It trails only Jeff Fisher and Bum Phillips. Vrabel has the Patriots in first place in the AFC East this year. His 4 wins are the same number Brian Callahan had in his 23 games as the Titans head coach. And so now, as this head coach makes his return today, he brings along with him a tradition that began when he was coaching in Tennessee. Mike Reese takes us inside Mike Vrabel's press conference routine.
Before we start this story, we should probably look back.
Hi, Teresa.
In 2018, when Mike Vrabel arrived at press conferences as Tennessee Titans head coach, he began a new routine.
How are you, Teresa?
Good, how are you, Mike?
Great.
I'm Teresa Walker. I'm the state sports editor for the Associated Press in Tennessee. I've covered this franchise, the Tennessee Titans, since they first arrived in the state of Tennessee in July of 1997, and I have not gone anywhere since.
This is a tough business, I think, for females, right? For women, you know, we're breaking into this league. And again, when I got to Tennessee, just trying to get to know everybody, and then there's Teresa, and she's plugging away, and she's always right there in front and super attentive. And so I figured, just out of respect to her, you know, give her the first question, and it kind of stuck. How are you, Teresa?
I'm good, how are you?
Great.
How is Ryan doing at this point?
Good.
When he took the job, I had a sit-down session with him, part off the record, part on the record. And I make sure to try to introduce myself to all the new coaches that I'm covering so that they know who I am. I'm asking objective, newsy-based questions. I think it was in that first season, 2018. Once we were kind of into September, it's like, okay, got to be ready, got to bring it. What am I asking today?
Go ahead, Teresa.
I'll ask you the same thing.
Teresa?
Oh, sorry about that.
Hi, Teresa.
Good morning, Mike. Mike, that the tail of the game?
Well, it's a large part of the game. You know, it was always just a good way to get going, and like, what do you got, Teresa? You know, it was just one after another. And then obviously, I mean, Karen covered me here and covered us here when we were players here, so felt like it was only right. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mike. My name's Karen Garigian. I've been covering sports for 40 years, so I've been around the block. I think it's just kind of a respect thing, and I'm a familiar face, and I think he knows what he's getting pretty much when I'm going to ask him a question.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Karen? Hi, Karen. How are you?
Well, how are you, Mike?
Great.
Karen doesn't travel for most road games. After the Patriots' Week 5 win over the Bills, Vrabel noticed.
Karen missed a good one.
What was your reaction when you heard him say that?
Well, I wasn't expecting it, but then I thought about it and I said, of course he's going to bust me for not being there.
When we are able to make connections with the people we cover, it's why it's so important that journalists are in NFL locker rooms, because that way we get to connect on the human level and help tell their stories better. it helps everybody do their jobs better.
I think he has a set idea about how he wants to run things, how he wants to go about things, and the media is no different than the locker room. It's almost like he's setting our culture by going to the same person first all the time. Like he's keeping us in line.
Hi, Karen.
Teddy, it's obviously one of your closest friends.
Yeah.
Sort of a sign of just the person that he is.
Yeah. It is. And Vrabes mentioned of how, they've had to pay their dues, but it's basically who they are as people also. Karen was there when I was there, when Vrabes was there, and she was one of the most trusted beat writers that we felt as players also. I knew Vrabes was going to do this the minute he got there. I remember that watching all his press conferences in Tennessee. Teresa, I was like, he gets to New England, it'll be Karen, because Karen's been there forever. She's the best. Everyone trusts Karen Grisian.
All right, he is clearly the center of attention today in a lot of ways as he returns to Tennessee, where he was the coach all those years, and our Kimberly Martin is there for the return of Coach Vrabel. Kimberly, what is going on there this morning?
Well, let me first start with the obvious, the weather. We were on the field earlier with light rain, but reports of potential thunderstorms. We've had heavy rain. It's been hot. It's been cold, blustery. Reports as much as 13 to 18 mile per hour winds. So we are stationed here. The weather could have impacted the game. Now, to the man of the hour, Mike Vrabel. Just a little bit before 9 a.m., he walked in here off of the bus, and around the same time, the New England Patriots tweeted a graphic of his face and said, "All business." And that has been Vrabel's message to his players all week. Now, when I spoke to wide receiver Pop Douglas, he said, listen, it's just the next game. We don't want to take an L. But Greeny, then he said to me, but I'd be lying if I said we weren't trying to play for our head coach. We know that this team could come in with more energy, and we need to bring the fight to them. So look for that. The Titans will try to change up their offense against a really good Patriots defense, but the Patriots do have Stephon Diggs, as Schefter mentioned earlier. He is active after with the chest injury after being fully participant on Friday.
All right, Kmart, outstanding. Thank you. We will watch the weather closely, and everyone will watch Vrabel closely. So the term "just another game" was used a lot this week.
Yeah.
Teddy, it makes you laugh.
Yeah, this coach is like an elephant. He never forgets. Okay, I mean this memory on this guy. He takes things personal. I just know him too well. Being an analyst here back in 2019 when the Tennessee Titans played the Baltimore Ravens. Moss, you picked the Titans because Vrabel was the head coach. I picked the Ravens. He still lets me have it.
I remember it.
Don't try to be my friend now. Okay, to paraphrase a lot of the text message that I got from Vrabel, he remembers. Okay, and this means a lot to him. And sometimes as players, the coaches may not say that, but you sense it for other players that are returning to their other teams, and then other coaches that are returning. They want it bad. The Patriots, maybe Diggs, that maybe was questionable coming back to play.
For his coach.
There it is. For his coach. It happens throughout the organization.
Yeah, you talk about sensing. Sorry, Teddy. The thing that I love is he seems so fearless as a coach. And then when you're a quarterback, and I'm talking about young Drake Maye, right? Like you can sense these things in play calling. And obviously he brings in Josh McDaniel, which I love. But I've been so impressed with how aggressive the play calling has been for Drake Maye. I mean, it is shot after shot, double move. We're throwing the ball down the field. And when you're a quarterback, there's some subliminal communication that goes with that. Hey, these guys trust me. They believe in me. They're going to let me rip it, right? And then on the other end, when it comes in and they guard and it's conservative play calling, that affects you too as a quarterback. And so, again, I just love how much trust they're putting in this guy. And, man, Drake Maye is playing so good right now.
You know, just hearing Kimberly Martin talking about the weather, as you see the rain behind her, you see the wind, you hear about the coach, his father leaves. All of this disarray that's going on in Tennessee, there's one person on the planet that don't care what's going on in Tennessee, and that's Mike Vrabel. One thing about it, Brew, you're talking about the mind of an elephant. One thing that I expect Mike Vrabel to go in there, and I'm talking about late in the fourth quarter. They may be up 10, they may be up 14. I can see Mike Vrabel still pouring it on. And the thing about him pouring it on, his team will understand why he's pouring it on. So I look for a good game today, and especially out of Drake Maye.
Well, you know, first off, Josh McDaniels deserves a ton of credit for the development of this young man, Maye, at quarterback. They are pushing it down the field. He's the number one guy versus pressure, which is crazy for a second-year quarterback. So a lot of good things. But if you think this is just another football game, you're out your mind.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, because right now, this man got fired, all right? I've been there. All right. And when you go back, all right, you're sitting back going, oh, really? Man, I'm going to show you how good I am. You're going to miss me. And I am going to try. I'm going to do whatever the hell I can to win that game. And it is way more important than you think. All right. And you sit back there and it's like, come on, man, bring it on. Yeah. And I am going to walk off that damn field a winner. All right. And I'm going to sit back and say, you never should have let me go. I gave you everything I had. Trust me. And you kicked me out of this building. You're out of your mind. Yeah, that's so to me, Vrabel, I'm telling you, the competitor that Mike Vrabel is, that you guys know,
no doubt.
No way in hell is his team not going to be prepared to the max. They always are, but there's a little bit extra, and the players are going to say.
And I got one play for that, of how these players are prepared and how Vrabel's been, not just the motivation here at Tennessee, but the coach that he is. I'm going to show you one play.
Okay.
One play, 3rd and 11 last week. Oh, well, here we are. One play, 3rd and 11 last week. Drake Maye completes a pass here, but that's Ramondre Stevenson right there. Watch the block that he has. Oh, this is the fumbler, right? The fumbler that nobody wants to play. That's Ramondre Stevenson stepping up, blocking there. A 3rd-round pick, Jared Wilson out of Georgia. Will Campbell's blocking Chase Young, former #1 overall, showing the rookies, I've got faith in you. I've got faith in Ramondre, and Dre, I've got faith in you to make this throw. That is a combination of Vrabel's coaching right there with this team in one play. 3rd and 11, the players that contributed, that's what he's doing for this team on the field.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. When you want to see what a coach does for a team, all right, and he comes in there, going to change the culture, right? Well, I said it before. All right, you want to look at the value of a coach? Watch how all the former players, have they improved? Every one of those New England Patriots have improved. Every one of them. That's what tells you got the right coach. All right, Tennessee Titans, it's pretty obvious you shouldn't have let that guy walk out your building.
Can I talk to the DC for a minute? Because I know how I would come in. I know how we would come in. We've already talked about, as a player, how we would come into a game like this. But we've never been a coach, okay? One thing in New England, they're playing press, they're blitzing, they're playing some zones. With Calvin Ridley being out today, how would you come into this? How would you come in, Rex, as a coach? I just need to know.
I'm going to come in there and beat this kid to sleep. All right, I don't care. They're going to see. We're going to dummy it down. Guess what? You got no chance you dummy it down. And so to me, I'm going to know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to try to protect the quarterback a little bit by running the football. Great. And then I'm going to beat you to sleep on 3rd down. This is a young quarterback that struggled. All right, the coaching staff, I think, has been handled this guy completely wrong. But we're going to find out. But trust me on this one. All the confidence in the world, their best receivers not in there. Man, let's just go. Let's just go eat on defense.
The expression is the best revenge is living well. There is no question. Mike Vrabel is getting his revenge. He's living extremely well, and the Titans have been struggling. They've already fired their head coach, and we'll see what Cam Ward, the #1 pick in the draft, is able to do. It's the 4th consecutive #1 overall pick as a quarterback who's had his coach fired during his rookie season. It's an epidemic in the National Football League. Meanwhile, Raiders today getting ready to go.
Wake up.